When you're training a green horse, you've got to remember and keep this in mind all the time, that patience is the most important thing in the whole world. You can ruin a horse so fast and not even know you did it by being impatient, getting angry, getting in a fight. You'll never win a fight. Trust me, I know this from experience. I have never won, and I quit trying. When my young guys that come to work for me at the farm and they're on a young horse, the first thing I tell them is, I said, if you go out and for some reason the horse isn't doing what you want and you start to get angry, I want you to walk back to the barn. I want you to get off of that horse, put it back out in its paddock, go to the next one, and then come back in the afternoon and go out again. It is so valuable and so important, because all the problems a horse acquires are man-made. That's the other thing. Never make an issue with a horse. All of a sudden, Betsy's daughter, Betsy was my best mare, I loved her, and her daughter, you know, I've broken her and I've done everything right, and you know, I go out and I want to go to the right, and she's just not doing it the way that I want to do it that day. She's 3 years old, 4 years old, I don't care if she's 5 years old. I don't mind. I just go to the left and then I'll ease back to the right, and you know, but if I get mad and I say, you're going to the right, damn it, your mother went to the right, you're going to the right. I've created an issue in that horse's mind. Billy Wayman always said this, and I've always tried to figure it out, and it's going to be hard. A horse can't remember, but they never forget. Now, we know with horses you have to, repetition is everything. They have to do it over and over and over and over again, and then they get it, and then it's there for life. You smack them in the left side of their head one day to try to make them go to the right, they're never going to forget that, ever. Until they're dead, they're not going to forget it. But my point is, never make an issue with them. If the guy gets mad or you get upset or you're starting to get upset, go ahead and get off. Take it back to the barn. If you can't go that in the afternoon, look, it's what I do for a living, so yeah, I've got all day. But if you got to go to the office and you can't do it, just leave it. Maybe come back, you know, and the only thing you're going to do before it gets dark when you get back from the office is say, you know what, I'm just going to go ride her again one time just to get past this and see how it goes. You'll be amazed at the difference. The other thing to do with the young horses, if you can, a lot of you guys don't have time to do this, but if you can, ride them twice a day. I'd rather see somebody go ride them for 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon than I would for 30 minutes once a day. If you're trying to get a point across. So now I've taken Betsy's daughter, and you know, I didn't get mad at her in the morning, I didn't make an issue about her going to the right. We just kind of went, just eased off, finished on a great note, put her back out, brought her back in the afternoon, went and rode her again. She came a little bit better. Do that for 2 or 3 days and all of a sudden it's gone. It's never there. But the most important thing to me is never get angry. If you get angry, you get upset, you're going to create a problem that may or may not be an issue for the rest of their life. But just avoid it by not doing it. And then go back to Ray Harrington's quote of the worst thing you can do to young horses, underbid them. Here's how it goes. You get one off the racetrack or wherever, and it's a new one. She's beautiful. God, she's a polo type. You get the biggest, fattest snaffle you can, the softest bit you can. You put it in your mouth, and you go out there, and she starts pulling on you a little bit. She leans on you. She starts leaning on you. You go, well, I'm going to go to just a little bit smaller bit. Maybe it's got a little twist in it. Then she starts leaning on that. Ah, God, I got to go to a gag now, a berry gag. And then she learns to lean on the berry gag. Soon you're in a wire gag and there's nothing left. I get them. I mean, we raise ours, and we try to raise them with good mouths anyway. But it happens, and it happens all the time, and you got to be very careful. But I'll have one that I'll go out in that gag that I had, a little easy gag, and she's heavy with me, and she's not as responsive as I want to be. I don't want to pull on her and yank on her and do this stuff, so sometimes in the same ride I'll just go back and change the bridle and put a twisted berry gag or a twisted regular gag on there and go out there, and she'll be like, ah, God. All of a sudden she's off the bit. Now look, my hands, what creates the problem, you know, the cuts or the hurts their mouth, so I'm being gentle, because when you're out in the polo field, you can't be using 2 hands and going around. So I've got her easy doing it. Then I go back to the smooth gag again, and she's just as light as she was in that severe bit. But I've got my 4-year-old, can be my best 4-year-old. I got her in a smooth gag, and she's heavy with me, so I jump and put something like 2 or 3 bits more severe on her for 1 day, sometimes 2, not really even to play her in it. Sometimes I will, but not that often. And then she's responsive, she's light, she's almost scared. And so then I want to get that back and put the smooth gag back in, and now she's back where I wanted her to go. So try not to underbit a horse, but you've got to be careful in that you go to a more severe bit, not to overdo it. You know, don't play them for a week or a month in it, because it's not going to happen. It's going to happen in 2 or 3 days, and then you go back to the bridle you were in. So underbidding a horse for me is overfeeding, underbidding. Remember those 2 things.